Hello, and welcome to the Test Anxiety Workshop presentation here today. My name is Chris Richmond, and I'm a psychologist at the University Counseling Center, or the Personal Counseling Center on campus. And originally, I was asked to provide a test anxiety workshop. Unfortunately, because of the current circumstances with the COVID-19, we're having to do this via the web, and I hope that it can still be helpful and useful to you in helping to manage some of the anxiety and stress that you might be experiencing related to upcoming tests and quizzes, but also just in general having to deal with our new reality, being at home and having to quarantine during this time and social distance. It's a big and a significant change for many of us. So hopefully these techniques can be useful. I believe they're general enough to be useful even in these situations when we're not necessarily preparing for a test or a quiz. So yeah, I'm hopeful that they can be helpful to you. And the first thing that I want to discuss and kind of start off with is just thinking about the many things that we do to help unwind, relax, kind of take that edge off when we start to experience some stress and anxiety. Oftentimes, even including myself, we naturally engage in activities that, without even thinking about them, we naturally engage in some activities that do help us relax, unwind, take that edge off. And so talking to students and knowing myself, some of those activities, common activities that we discuss are listening to music, taking a nap, watching a certain TV show or something on Netflix. Sometimes I'll have more detailed conversations with students about music, and they can identify a particular style or an artist or maybe a few songs that help them relax and unwind. At this time, with us dealing with the current situation, wanting to do our best with the academic situation that's kind of thrown us all into a bit of a loop with the distance online learning, I think it is really important to be aware and to be thoughtful about, what are your go-to strategies to help you relax and unwind. So I would like really to encourage you to be thoughtful about that moving forward. I know for me, when I have some time to relax, and just kind of think through my day, plan out a schedule, that's really helpful for me, and trying to maintain some routine and some tasks that I want to accomplish throughout the day. That's been helpful during this time. And then the next transition that I'll make here is just thinking in general about managing our time and managing stress when it comes time for an exam or a test. Probably one general important thing to keep in mind is how you prioritize your tasks. And one of the most helpful ways to do that is thinking about where your deadlines are and really trying to center your time and attention on those tasks or those exams that are most recent, and making those a priority. Oftentimes when we focus on all the work that needs to be done, all the tests that we need to prepare for, papers we need to write, that can become quite overwhelming. And so kind of the number two here is some of those bigger tasks that we have in studying for a large exam or a very comprehensive exam. One of the things we want to do is try to break it down into doable doses, and what are the small steps that we can kind of break this larger task down into so that it seems a bit more manageable. Because I know, like for myself, if I'm looking at everything that needs to get done, that can be quite overwhelming. And when we get overwhelmed, it's easy to kind of shut down and not make those steps moving forward. So be thoughtful about, hey, with the bigger tasks, I think another good example would be if you have a large paper, 10, 15, 20 page paper. Hey, let's think about trying to break that down into smaller doses. Maybe just the first couple of pages, let me try to break that down. So these doable doses, I think, really quite important. And then another thing that's rather important too is making sure that we're getting enough sleep before the exam. Trying not to pull an all-nighter, but instead trying to shoot for 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep, because when we're sleeping well and getting enough sleep, our brain is going to be functioning at full capacity. But if you've been there before, and I'm pretty sure you have, where you've only gotten 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep, that is usually leaving our brain capacity at less than 100%, and our attention and concentration goes, and that's going to impact our overall ability to perform well on a test or an exam. And along with that as well, the sleep. Important to be thoughtful about eating healthy, and then also trying to get some exercise too. Right now with the current state, most of us being at home and not traveling or getting out, there's still some opportunities to get outside, to go for a walk, to go for a hike, maybe shoot some hoops outside, something like that. So the sleeping, the eating, the exercise, if we can find some balance there, that's certainly going to help our chances in doing well on an exam or on a test. But probably most important is that sleep piece, that sleep component. Right, and then the next thing that I'm going to move to now is getting into some of the specific tools and strategies that I want to have you try to practice at home with me. And I'll be walking you through these specific strategies, these test anxiety strategies. And the first one that we're going to do is called abdominal breathing, or sometimes it's referred to as just deep breathing. And I would imagine all of you have done that at some point in time in the past, and some deep breathing type of exercise or exercises. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up and kind of show you how these exercises are done. And one thing that's rather important is that when we do deep breathing, we want to make sure that the deep breaths are coming not from our chest, but down in our diaphragm, or our stomach or our gut. And so what I like to do is put two hands, one here up on my chest and then one down on my stomach. And when we're breathing in, we want to try to really get that deep breath down here. And what I like to do is I like to breathe in through my nose, and I like to do that on a 7 or 8 count, and then also breathe out then through my mouth on a similar 7 or 8 count as well. And so what I'll do is I'll take my glasses off for this and kind of show you how this will work. I like to close my eyes because it helps to kind of center me and block out any sort of distractions. And so a deep breath in. And out. Once again, I want to make sure that that deep breath is getting down here. So once again, I'll close my eyes and a deep breath in. And out. I'll go one more time to kind of show you the proper technique. Once again, that deep breath in, I like to go in through my nose and out through my mouth. Okay, and with this exercise, we can practice starting off maybe about 5 minutes or so. And this is like any sort of activity. The more practice we get, the better we're going to get at being able to get those deep, refreshing breaths that really go deep down into our diaphragm. And the more time we spend with it, the greater the relaxation is. And once again, like I said, we get better at it as we practice this. Even to start off with, if you're practicing maybe just 2-3 times a week, that can be a good healthy start to getting practice with this. The next technique that I'm going to talk about is creating a symbol of relaxation. And what I like to do is I like to pair that with what we call the palming technique. And if we start with the creating a symbol of relaxation, with this technique, sometimes I refer to it somewhat humorously. I refer to it as my happy place, or finding our happy place. It's a reference to the Happy Gilmore movie with Adam Sandler. If anyone's seen that out there, he talks about going to his happy place. And so this creating a symbol of relaxation or happy place, what I like to have you think about is the most relaxing place that you have ever been to before. Maybe it's a beach, maybe it's somewhere in a forest, a cabin, a lake house, something like that. Or it doesn't necessarily have to be a place that you've been to before. Maybe it's just a place that you've seen online before, or seen in pictures. You could also use that as your relaxing place or your happy place. So I want to have you kind of give that some thought, and we'll get back to that in just a minute. And then I'll also show you the palming technique. And I'll have to, once again, take my glasses off for this. And then the palming technique, what we do here, hopefully I'm backing up far enough you can kind of see my knees. What I do is I place my elbows on my knees, and then the palm of my hands, I'm going to rest them on my cheekbones, so that what I'll be doing is covering up my eyes, but I'll be doing so without putting any pressure on my eyeballs. We don't want to damage or hurt our eyes or our vision. And you can see that my fingertips are on my forehead, along with my thumbs too. And what I'm trying to do is just cover up my vision, so that I'm blocking out everything else that's going on around me. And I can focus then just on the symbol of relaxation, or our happy place. And so what I'll have you do is give you a few moments here to think about, what is your happy place? Where is that place? So once you have that symbol of relaxation, what I want you to do is to just to go through that palming technique once again. We'll have our elbows on our knees, and our palms will be covering up our eyes. And when you get to this spot here, I'll have you think through your symbol of relaxation, and with your eyes covered up, I'll have you follow along with me with some instructions here. At this point in time, hopefully you have your symbol of relaxation and happy place in your mind's eye. I want you to think through, as you are placing yourself there in this symbol of relaxation, I want you in your mind's eye to walk around, to do a 360, and to take in everything that you see here in your place of relaxation and of happiness. So once again, in your mind's eye, I want you to walk around, to do a 360 and take in everything that you see, engaging that sense of sight. What are all the things that you see in your environment? Take everything in. And I'll have you take a few more minutes to look around and to notice everything in your environment there. And then next, what I will have you do to engage the sense of touch is, whether you're sitting or standing, I want you to move around and to touch what's ever closest to you. Maybe you're on a beach and your hands are sifting through the sand. Wherever you might be, I'll have you think through, as you're touching objects in your environment, how does it feel, what you're touching or what you're holding on to? Engage that sense of touch, that sensory feeling there in touch. And then we can also go back once again to looking around in your environment, and what do you see taking that all in, that relaxing sense of peace that you get when you walk around or move around in this environment. And then the next sense that we'll explore is your sense of smell. As you're firmly planted here in your happy place, and this the most relaxing place you can envision, I want you to engage that sense of smell. And if you breathe in, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you're breathing in through your nose, notice, what do you smell? What are the wonderful sense of smell? What do you smell in this environment, this calming, relaxing environment? I'll have you focus on that sense of smell, engaging that as best you can here in this peaceful, relaxing environment. And then I'll have you take just a few more moments and really have you think through what this experience has been like, staying in your happy place, this relaxing environment. Have you take just a little bit more time here. And when you're ready, I'll have you open your eyes. And usually at this point in time when we're doing this live and in person, I'll have a conversation with students about their happy place. Tell me where it is and what it's like for you. For mine, what I typically share is that my wife and I have a small cabin that's in the UP near Houghton, kind of Michigan Tech area, and it's off in the woods, and it's just a very peaceful place. One place that we've often gone camping before we had a cabin, and when I'm there, it's just incredibly peaceful and quiet and serene. And so my hope is that each of you have a place similar to that helps you relax and unwind, and that you can, in your mind's eye, envision that wonderful place, and that it can create this sense of relaxation and happiness and peace. So we've got those two activities that we've done so far. And then the last one that I want to leave you with is a progressive muscle relaxation exercise. And with this exercise, it can be very involved, or it can be short. Today, we won't be doing a full body progressive muscle relaxation sort of technique or experience, but we will try to go from our head at least down to our chest or maybe abdomen. And so with this progressive muscle relaxation, what we'll be doing is we'll be tensing and then releasing certain muscle groups. And the hope is that when we move through that experience of tension and then to relaxation or releasing muscles, that you're able to experience a sense of relaxation in those particular areas that we'll cover. So if you're in a chair or seated like I am, where we'll start off with first is we'll start off with the muscles in our face, and then also our neck. And so once again, I like to close my eyes for this one. And to begin with, what I'll be doing is I'll be tensing the muscles in my face and neck and trying to hold those as long as I can, typically 8, 9, 10 seconds. And so we'll start with the face and neck. I'll tense, and release. And once again, I will tense, and release. One more time, tense, and release. And I like to take a deep breath as well. This really helps to enhance that sense of relaxation. What I'll move to next is tensing My shoulders, I'm just going to try to raise them and tighten them, bringing them up and close to my ears. So I'll close my eyes again and tense my shoulders. And then release. And I like to have my arms kind of dangle. And I like to feel that release and tension in my shoulders, but also in my arms too. So once again, I'll tense and then release. And then the next muscle group area that we'll focus on is our arms. And for this one, I like to reach my arms out and make fists. Once again, I'll close my eyes and I'll tighten my arms and also my fists, and I'll hold that tension for about 10 seconds. And then release. And I like to, once again, just kind of let my arms dangle. And then we'll do this one more time. Tense our hands, our fists, and our arms as well. And then hold that. And release. And that sense of relaxation I can feel moving from my shoulders down through my arms and into my fingertips. And one of the other things that I find helpful while doing this is closing my eyes and just trying to focus on that sensation of relaxation, that tension and then relaxation, and trying to block out any thoughts about the future or the past. I really try to keep myself focused on just that feeling of tension and then relaxation. And then the last area that we can do here, at least in a seated position, is tensing the muscles in our chest and our abdomen too. And so we'll do that a couple of times. Once again, I'll close my eyes, usually put my hands and arms up on the chair rests. I'll try to tighten my chest and my abdomen and hold that for about 10 seconds. And then release. And one more time, I try to tighten my chest and my abdomen. And then release. And once again, I hope that this is an exercise that you can engage in as well. It can help to create a sense of relaxation leading up to or approaching an exam or a test. And so, yeah, with these three exercises, you can do them here in the comfort of your home. There's opportunities to do these probably right before an exam, as hopefully next fall we're all back in the classroom, and you could engage in those there as well. And I'll have you stay tuned for more videos and opportunities like this, hopefully coming at this semester. All right, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.